Gentlemen, what I'm about to reveal will completely shatter everything you think you know about attraction. This isn't going to be comfortable. In fact, it's going to feel like a cold splash of reality hitting you square in the face. But if you're tired of being confused, tired of giving your all and getting nothing back, tired of watching women choose other men while you're left wondering what went wrong, then you need to hear this. I've spent the last decade studying human psychology, observing relationship patterns, and analyzing what actually creates lasting attraction versus what we're told should work. And here's what I discovered. Women aren't drawn to what you think they are. They're not magnetized by your reliability, your constant availability, or even your unwavering devotion. They're pulled towards something entirely different, something that triggers a primal response they can't even explain. If you're ready to understand the psychology behind genuine attraction and stop making the mistakes that push women away, this is your wake-up call. Welcome to MotiveLux, where we dive deep into the uncomfortable truths that transform how you approach relationships. Let me take you back to my early 20s. I was the textbook good guy. I believed in the fairy tale we're all sold. Treat her with respect, be consistent, show your feelings, and she'll naturally be drawn to you. So that's exactly what I did. I was the guy who remembered her favorite coffee order, who texted good morning every day, who dropped everything when she needed support. I was reliable, predictable, and completely devoted. And you know what happened? I got friend-zoned, ignored, and replaced by guys who seemed to care half as much as I did. I watched women I treated like royalty gravitate toward men who were distant, unpredictable, and emotionally unavailable. It made no sense. I was doing everything right according to conventional wisdom, yet I was consistently losing out to guys who seemed to be doing everything wrong. This pattern repeated itself so many times that I had to face a brutal reality. Maybe the problem wasn't that I wasn't good enough. Maybe the problem was that I fundamentally misunderstood what creates attraction in the first place. So I started an experiment. Instead of trying harder to be the perfect boyfriend, I began observing what actually worked. I studied the guys who seemed effortlessly magnetic to women. I analyzed the patterns in successful relationships. And what I discovered completely revolutionized my understanding of human psychology. Here's the truth that no one wants to admit: attraction isn't logical. It's not based on who deserves it most or who tries hardest. Attraction is an emotional response triggered by specific psychological mechanisms, and most of them have nothing to do with being nice. Women are biologically wired to be drawn to uncertainty, challenge, and emotional stimulation. This isn't because they're cruel or shallow. It's because our brains are designed to find unpredictability engaging and exciting. When everything is safe, predictable, and guaranteed, the nervous system relaxes, and with it, the intensity of attraction fades. Think about it this way: what keeps you engaged in a movie? Is it when you know exactly what's going to happen next? Or is it the suspense, the unexpected twists, the moments when you're not sure how things will turn out? The same principle applies to relationships. Let me share a specific example. I once knew a woman named Sarah, intelligent, successful, the kind of person who had her life together. She was dating two different men. The first guy, Marcus, was everything you'd want on paper. He was successful, treated her incredibly well, was always available when she needed him, and made his feelings crystal clear. The second guy, David, was more elusive. He had his own life, his own priorities, and while he showed interest, he never made himself completely available. Guess which one she chose? David. And when I asked her why, she said something that changed my entire perspective. Marcus felt too easy. With David, I never knew where I stood, and that made every moment with him feel more intense. This wasn't about David being better than Marcus. It was about the emotional experience each relationship provided. Marcus offered security and predictability. David offered excitement and challenge. And in the contest between comfort and chemistry, chemistry wins almost every time. Now, before you think I'm advocating for being a jerk or playing mind games, let me be clear, this isn't about manipulation or cruelty. It's about understanding that attraction requires a certain level of emotional tension and uncertainty. It's about recognizing that when you make yourself too available, too predictable, too eager to please, you inadvertently eliminate the very elements that create magnetic pull. The men who naturally attract women aren't necessarily the nicest or the most devoted. They're the ones who maintain their own identity, who have boundaries, who don't rearrange their entire lives around one person. They're emotionally invested but not emotionally dependent. They care, but they don't need constant reassurance. They're present, but they're not suffocating. This is what I call the gravitational pull principle. Just like planets in space, attraction requires the right balance of closeness and distance. Get too close, and you lose the magnetic pull. Stay too distant, and there's no connection at all. The sweet spot is that middle ground where there's connection without complete possession, intimacy without total predictability. So how do you apply this practically? First, understand that your value doesn't come from how much you give or how available you are. Your value comes from who you are as a complete person, someone with your own goals, interests, and boundaries. When you approach relationships from a place of completeness rather than neediness, everything changes. Stop being the guy who drops everything for a text. Stop being the one who always initiates contact. Stop being so eager to define the relationship or lock down commitment. Instead, focus on being someone worth chasing, someone with your own life, your own passions, your own sense of purpose. This doesn't mean being cold or distant. It means being selectively available. It means showing interest while maintaining your independence. It means being the kind of person she has to earn, not someone who gives everything away freely. Here's what this looks like in practice. You text when you genuinely want to connect, not because you feel obligated. You make plans that include her when it makes sense, but you don't cancel your own life for her schedule. You show affection and interest, but you don't seek constant validation. You're emotionally available, but you're not emotionally needy. The result? She starts investing more because she has to work for your attention. She starts thinking about you more because she can't predict your every move. She starts valuing the relationship more because it's not guaranteed. I know this might sound calculated, but here's the thing, this isn't about manipulation. It's about being authentically self-possessed. It's about not losing yourself in the pursuit of someone else's approval. It's about maintaining the very qualities that made you attractive in the first place. Most men make the mistake of thinking that once they have her interest, They need to lock it down by becoming increasingly available and accommodating. But this is exactly backward. The qualities that attract her initially, your independence, your confidence, your selectiveness, are the same qualities that will keep her attracted long-term. Women don't want to be your entire world. They want to be an important part of a world that's already interesting and fulfilling. They want to feel like they're adding to your life, not completing it. They want to feel like they're with someone who chose them, not someone who needed them. This is the fundamental shift in mindset that changes everything. Move from seeking validation to offering value. Move from chasing approval to commanding respect. Move from being the pursuer to being worth pursuing. When you make this shift, you'll notice something remarkable happens. Women start responding differently to you. They become more engaged, more invested, more curious about what you're thinking and feeling. They start reaching out more, making effort to spend time with you, working to maintain your interest. And here's the beautiful paradox. When you stop desperately seeking loyalty, you actually become more worthy of it. When you stop trying so hard to be chosen, you become more choosable. When you stop giving away your power, you become more powerful. This isn't about playing hard to get, it's about being hard to get because you have genuine standards and self-respect. It's about being the kind of person who doesn't settle for scraps of attention because you know your worth. Remember, attraction is not a choice, it's a response. And the response you get depends entirely on the energy you project. Project neediness, get indifference. Project desperation, get distance. Project self-possession and confidence, get genuine interest and respect. The men who understand this principle don't spend their time chasing women who aren't interested. They don't send paragraph-long texts trying to explain their feelings. They don't rearrange their schedules hoping for scraps of attention. Instead, they focus on becoming the kind of men that women want to chase. And that's the ultimate truth about attraction. It's not about what you can give someone else. It's about who you are when you're not trying to impress anyone. It's about the energy you carry when you're completely comfortable with yourself. It's about being someone so grounded in your own value that others can't help but notice. So stop begging for attention from people who don't appreciate what you offer. Stop trying to convince someone to see your worth. Stop sacrificing your peace of mind for someone else's validation. Instead, become the kind of person who doesn't need to chase because others are naturally drawn to the energy you radiate. This is the message of Motive Lux. True attraction comes from self-mastery, not self-abandonment. It comes from knowing your value, not proving it. It comes from being complete on your own, not seeking completion through someone else. The choice is yours. Continue the exhausting cycle of chasing validation, or step into the power of being genuinely valuable. Because once you understand this principle and start living it, everything changes, not just in your relationships, but in how you move through the world. That's the real secret to attraction. Stop trying to be chosen and start being choosable. Stop trying to earn love and start being worth loving. Stop chasing loyalty and start being worthy of it. Welcome to your transformation. This is Motive Lux, where we explore the psychology of authentic attraction and personal power.